Hello and welcome to another video session. I'll be talking about the trend strength indicator, the indicator that helps you to measure the strength of the candlesticks or the strength of the trend. All right, so you'll be able to know or tell when it's starting, how fast or how deep it has gone, and so on and so forth. Right, so without much ado, let's get into it and talk about the indicator that helps you measure the strength of the trend. Then legend here, you're welcome to Boom and Crash Expert Advisor. So first of all, this indicator can be found under indicators. You go to trend and you add the average directional movement index. Now when you add it up, you would like to change, I think this was 7 by default, yes, but I changed it to 10. So when you set it to 7, you can see I have set marks at 25, 50, 75, and then 100. Okay, now going to my notepad, from here I have some key points here I will be talking about: the ADX values and the trend strength. Okay, so what you see here are red and green and white lines. These I set the colors by myself, so I'm trying to activate the indicator. Okay, I changed this to white because I'm using a black background. I change this to white. You can make it black if you have a white background. And I changed the DI, the directional indicator, as positive, and I made the color green. And then the negative of the directional indicator, I made it red. Okay, and I set my thickness levels as such. And then for level 25, I wrote weak or no trend. So it's going to show the ADX line, which is the white line, is going to show if the trend is weak or not, or let's say is weak or it doesn't have any trend when it's from 0 to 25. I'm going to show you how to measure all those things. And then we have 50 being a strong trend, that is from 25 to 50 or 26 to 50, and then from 51 to 75 we have very strong trend, and then from 76 to 100 we have an extremely strong trend. And then I set this to yellow, and then you click OK. But for 1 minute time frame, we don't really get a right picture because everything here looks, it doesn't seem to make sense. So I'm going to switch to a higher time frame, say M30 H1, and then from this you see it's a bit scattered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in and then explain all these things. Now when you see the green line, which is the positive directional indicator or directional index, when you see it crossing above or moving above the red, which is the negative directional indicator, then it means that the trend is moving up. So from here, okay, when the green crossed the red up, and then here the indicator is telling us that, let me push it back a little bit, the indicator is telling us that at this point in time, when the green is above the red, there was an uptrend. So that is the entire meaning. The positive DMI, the directional movement indicator, if it is above the red one, then it's an upward trend. And then if the red, which is the negative directional movement indicator, if it's above the green, then it's a downtrend. Okay, so we see a downtrend because the red is above the green. So the red and green are telling us whether there's an uptrend or a downtrend, but they don't tell us the strength of the trend until the ADX come in. So red and green is just telling you that, hey, red above green, negative above positive simply means there's a downtrend, and positive above negative simply means there's an uptrend. Now, how do we know whether that uptrend is strong or weak? That is where we use our white ADX line. So if you have a white background, you can set your ADX line, which is the white, you can set it as black. So from here, we now come to my chart, and it says that when the DMI plus is above the negative, prices are moving up, and ADX measures the strength of the uptrend. When the DMI negative is above the DMI positive, prices are moving down and the ADX measures the strength of the downtrend. Now, if ADX value is in between 0 and 25, the strength of the trend is either weak or there's no trend at all. So from here, we can check that the ADX line here was above. Now, when it started here, I'll drop this a little bit. When it started out here, the ADX, which is the white, was now crossing the weak area into the strong trend. So we saw that at this point in time, ADX line was at 50 level, okay, in between 25 and 50. And I said in between 25 and 50 is a strong trend. So strong is telling us there's a strong downward trend because the ADX line is measuring the strength, and then the DMIs are telling us whether it's an uptrend or a downtrend. So we could also, this is M30, we could also check on H1, and then we see that from this place is saying that there's a strong trend. There's a strong trend, okay, strong trend from 50 to 75, and it's telling us that the red is above the green, so there's a strong downtrend. Therefore, when you come here on H1, there's a strong downtrend. Is it making sense? All right, so we could check another market. Like to check the crash market. All right, since we've already checked the boom market, and I'll delete these objects, delete all the objects. The other one is just an indicator that is telling me of resistance and all that. So now this is what we can learn from here. This is H1. We could even do M15, but then there will be too much noise. So let's talk about H1. H1 is telling us that from this point in time, the ADX is between weak trend and strong trend. So once it breaks a strong trend, we know that, okay, this is a strong trend. Then we check whether the red is above the green, and it's telling us this is a strong downtrend. So from here, if I'm going for a sell, and even my indicator here is telling me there's a verified resistance that has retested once, so I go for a sell and then I sell into profits. Okay, I'm not talking about where to set your TP and your SLs. I'm just giving an idea of what the ADX is doing. Okay, so we could also go back and see these are all strong trend points. So strong trend points from this point, okay, from here we see that is above weak trend area, and then there's an uptrend. So uptrend above downtrend, and then it says it's heading towards a strong trend. So at this point in time, one could go for a buy and then possibly set TP here. Okay, right, so that is the entire idea behind the ADX and the DMIs. So checking this, we know the values. If is 25 to 50 strong trend, or 26 to 50 strong trend, very strong trend, and then the extremely strong trend. So that is one way by which you can measure the strength of the trend when you are trading. I hope you learned a lot from this video. Drop a like on the video, as I appreciate it. Also encourages me to make more content for you. So go out there and test out how to use your ADX and see how best it works for you. All right, so all the best, and I'll see you in my next video.